Hello everyone, welcome to this Lensweets contact review. So I have 4 different pairs that I'm going to show you from this color contact company. Here is the packaging, and it arrived via regular mail fairly quickly, I think in about 2 weeks. Also, this video is sponsored, so thank you Lensweets for supporting my channel. Alright, let's get right into the review. So this first color is called Wildcat Blue. Loving the name. So right off the bat, you're going to see that these lenses are a classic sort of India style blue lens. This lens design is very, very popular in the color contact market. And the way to tell is it has a signature electric blue limbal ring. And that is what really, really draws attention to the eyes. Now, I highly recommend these lenses for very dark brown eyes, just because the pupil hole is blunter, much more suited for very dark brown eyes. And these lenses also have a high pigment. I just absolutely love the color combination of this style of lens. I love that in the center it's this beautiful white mint green color, very vibrant, and then it goes out into that beautiful thick but soft electric blue limbal ring. This color combination is absolutely genius, and from a distance it gives you that striking electric blue eye look, but it gives it more dimension because of the change in the color gradient. So if you have very dark brown eyes and you're wanting super striking sort of turquoise electric blue eyes, you are going to like this Wildcat Blue. Next is, I have a feeling this is going to be my personal favorite. This is called Radiant Pure Amber. So these lenses are very well designed, particularly if you're picky about the bug eye effect and you like really realistic, natural looking lenses that have a well designed pupil hole. So because of the way these pupil holes are designed, there's no bug eye effect. It blends very nicely into your natural iris. And then the color itself, I really, really, really like. It's very vibrant. It's very pigmented. So if you have very dark brown eyes, jot this down. These are a pair of gorgeous, vibrant, and the undertone of them is just really a true sandy brown color. These lenses aren't going to look too much different if you have very dark brown eyes because the opacity is so high. So if you want the really, really bright hazel eyes that don't look fake, these are definitely an option for you. There's a lot of texture, a lot of streaks, a lot of striations. There is depth. Also, slightly larger graphic diameter, so they will give you an enlarging effect. But overall, I really, really like the Radiant line in general, just because it doesn't look fake and you can pull these off in an everyday setting. Next is New York Hazel. So these lenses have been going around the color contact market for some time now. You might have heard of New York Blue as well. So this New York Hazel is part of that same collection. I would only recommend these lenses for very, very dark brown eyes. If you have medium brown eyes, I just think that they're a little bit too pigmented to look realistic. They are very, very bright in person, like extremely bright. So if that is what you're going for, like a super, super bright look, then the New York line is probably a line that you will like. But if you want something a little bit more toned down, subtle, like more realistic looking, these might not be your cup of tea. So one thing to really note with these lenses is look at how tiny the pupil hole is. And the reason why the pupil hole is so tiny is because these lenses are extremely, extremely pigmented, like super high opacity. So they needed to make that pupil hole really, really small in order to make them look more realistic. They're very blunt and very sharp, but very, very small. The color itself is very orange tone, very glowy, like extreme glowy, and then they end off with a very soft black limbal ring. I actually like that transition into the softer limbal ring. Overall, super, super bright lenses, and if you are curious about the New York Blue, they're going to have a very similar pigment and opacity to these New York Hazel. And last but not least is Pro Aqua. So these look very similar to Wildcat Blue, only the pupil hole is larger, so it gives it more of like an iris style type of look. And then the limbal ring is also a little bit different on these lenses. It has more of like a unique sort of like almost wavy-ish look, as opposed to the Wildcat, which has more of a uniform limbal ring, a uniform line, if that makes sense. So it's more of like a textured looking limbal ring, which isn't a bad thing. Also, the coloring is different. It's more of like a white ice blue, whereas the Wildcat had a more turquoisey green center. So slight differences in the color and patterning, also the pupil hole, but from a normal distance, they look very, very similar. They both give you that very, very striking blue-eyed look, especially with that electric blue limbal ring to really highlight and bring out the eyes. I would say if you have a cooler skin tone, this Pro Aqua will suit you more because it's got cooler gradient, as opposed to the Wildcat, which has that green, which gives it more of a warmer undertone. So these lenses all last for a year and they are extremely affordable. They are around $20 US per prescription pair, but if you add my discount code Danica25, you get an extra 25% off, so that's going to knock it down to $15-16 US per pair, and that is for a yearly lens. So do keep that in mind. I mean, if you're just curious to try new colors, you're not going to be out of pocket for experimenting with different companies. So let me know what you think of these colors and what your favorite is. Mine is definitely the Radiant. I love the Radiant just because it's the most subtle and the most natural, and it's just more suited for my personal taste. But let me know what you think in the comments below. All lenses are linked below in the description, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.